Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hytale podcast. First podcast of February, and damn, do we have news to talk about today?
Yes.
This is huge. Chris here with Myne. Hey, Myne, how's it going?
What's up? How's it going?
Yeah, dude. This is crazy. We got news. Ask Hytale started. Engine news, sort of. Like, this is crazy, dude.
Yeah, the train for Hytale news is beginning, and I don't see it stopping. I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
I think it can only go up from here. It's like a stock right now. Like right now is the perfect time to buy low, but like let me tell you, in 2-3 months, like that's when you're gonna want to sell high, dude. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh no, we're not selling this stock.
I ain't
We're
selling stock,
handsing, baby.
I ain't selling
We're
stock.
diamond handsing.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
we're going all the way until 2050. You know.
last episode we mentioned a segment that the Hytale team is doing called Ask Hytale. We were like, okay, well, we haven't seen Ask Hytale anywhere yet. When is it gonna come? Because someone in the high circle mentioned that they promised it being, or maybe not promised, but they said it would be January. And it was looking like it's not happening in January. It was like, when did we publish the podcast? We published it on
24th or something. When do we do it?
The 28th.
28th.
The 28th. And so we were like, you know what? It's the 28th of January.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do it in the last 2 days. And then they did on the 30th of January with the first ever Ask Hytale question. And it gives us some juicy information.
Yeah. You want to read it off, or should I?
Yeah, let's go for it. So someone asked about accessibility features such as subtitles or visual indicators for things happening, such as where a bomb will explode or the size. And Alex Sierra, the senior UX designer, answered, "We believe in every person's right to play, and we aspire for Hytale to be as accessible to as many as possible. Implementing features such as subtitles for dialogue and captions for non-speech sounds is high on our priority list. We are also consciously designing with accessibility in mind, so that our systems are not inaccessible to begin with. For example, we use multiple sensory methods to deliver essential gameplay info so that we don't rely on audio alone." Did anyone watching this while I read it notice the key word in that Ask Hytale answer?
Subtitles for dialogue and captions for non-speech sounds.
Dialogue.
What is dialogue, Myne? What have we been talking about on this podcast a couple times?
Hytale. So
what is this dialogue? Wow. Is it like a narrator? Is it a cutscene? Is it a villager talking to you? I don't know.
they could spin dialogue as like Simlish, and they're just like, you know, and then like they put grunts. Subtitles for that. But like,
there's no way. They gotta have voice acting. At this point, there's gonna be voice acting.
They're not gonna be talking in Simlish or Quebekish or whatever the language.
They're not gonna be speaking in Ewok, dude. Like,
I'm sure there's gonna be a tribe or two that just will speak in grunts or in weird sounds, but like I think for the majority, at least, like Tessa is going to be speaking in our desired language.
Well, yeah,
English, Spanish, whatever.
She is a human we know of, so I would assume she would speak at least the language. Yeah, right. She's not going to be speaking Quebec or Tree or something.
You never know if she learned Quebec or Tree, but
yeah. You think Connor would understand at least?
Oh, Connor would. I feel like he needs to get a special copy of the game so that if, for the standard player base, you can't understand Quebec, he gets like the limited edition Quebec version, and he can just speak to Quebecs. They just make a whole new game for him.
I can see that. That'd be a cool mod. It's just mod Connor or something.
Yeah. So interactions with NPCs, would that have dialogue, or would that be specifically for cutscenes in, say, in story mode cutscenes, or something that people probably aren't talking about, an announcer in the multiplayer? An announcer being like, "Welcome to the Hunger Games," or
"Welcome to the Quebec Village. You have to fend off this.
Welcome to Bed Wars," and that's like the tutorial for the game. That could also be dialogue. People are thinking solely for voice acting, but it could be just narration in, say, the multiplayer or certain other aspects of the game.
That could be really cool. I played games like that where, one that comes to mind is Skylanders. Like literally, pretty much there are cutscenes in it, but then there is like a narrator on top of the cutscenes, which narrates the very important parts of the game. That you walk into the boss's lair, and then it like gives you that cutscene, and then. For example, you encounter a brand new mob, and it would tell you the mob's name and a small description of it, and that's also from the narrator, which is pretty cool. I don't know if Hytale would do that, but
I don't think that's the type of narration that we'll see. I think it'll mainly be characters and character interactions. So, I mean,
how about bosses?
Cutscenes is a
what do you
question.
Think about bosses?
Depends on how they do it.
Because remember last week we were talking about, remember the Goblin Duke, how it had that little zoom into it? And then, for example...
I think it'd be so cool if the Goblin Duke had like a really... I think we can all picture the voice that the Goblin Duke should have. I hope that is the case. And, when you're attacking, he has like a bunch of these funny voice lines. Or when he throws out like this mega bomb, he says mega bomb or something. I don't know what,
Can you imagine? TNT!
Yeah, something stupid. And he's like cackling the entire time. I think that'd be really funny, and I hope that could be a voice acting. Yeah. But I could
like, what's the Yeti gonna do? Like, I don't think the Yeti's gonna have a voice.
Well,
like,
I don't think the Yeti is gonna have a voice. He's gonna be like,
Yeah. Humans,
Just a bunch of groaning and grunting.
Yeah, I can see the Duke having a voice, but
I want the Duke to have a really funny voice. I think it'd be so great.
Imagine he sounds like Pika from One Piece, like the most high-pitched voice you'll ever hear.
There's maybe like 5 people watching this.
Hey, they would know that. Just Google
Pika. Imagine if the Goblin Duke had SpongeBob's voice.
Like that, yeah, that kind of sounds like Pika's voice, honestly. Really high-pitched. Like, that would be hilarious.
Just for the general audience now that hasn't seen One Piece, including me, imagine SpongeBob as the Goblin Duke's voice. I think that'd be so
Imagine
funny.
His laugh with the Duke. He throws TNT. He's like,
I might
that'd be hilarious.
Edit of that.
Okay, that would be so funny.
Convince me.
All right.
I'm actually writing this down so I don't forget it.
I think that would do the rounds on Twitter. Or sorry, X. Right? Make video of Duke with SpongeBob laugh.
Duke, SpongeBob.
Yeah, and also it's really good. I think it's pretty cool that Hytale, like the first Ask Hytale question was an accessibility question, because a lot of people have been asking about that. I know it's not what a lot of people want to hear. Like, they want to hear more about the game. So but I think this is a big part of the game.
I think the way they answered it is interesting, because they do still tease multiple things, dialogue. I think it would have been a different reaction if they just said, yeah, we're gonna have captions. We're gonna have
different languages,
features, different languages,
stuff like
things like that. I think it would have been a lot less interesting, because it's good that we have the confirmation, but in 2024 it's a given that the game's gonna have accessibility features. It's good that they say that they're building it from the ground up, and not, because a lot of accessibility features are made when the game is done, and then they get put to that department, and they tell the department, okay, make this game accessible now. Yeah. And then they just have a struggle making it. And
translate it, stuff like that.
And so they're, working with the developers to make it all possible. And so that's a good sign that, it's not going to be an accessibility mess like certain other games are, even though they have accessibility features. But it's a good confirmation that the way they're working on it is efficient.
Yeah, exactly. And let's move on to another sort of answer here, because then there's like engine stuff. This one was a reply from John Hendricks' Myne.
Yes.
This one comes from Oil Pandres, or Pandaris, sorry, on
Ollie
Twitter.
Pianders.
I can't read, sorry. Ollie Pianders. This was on December 4th in 2023, so this is last year.
Yeah, that's an old question, but John decided, you know what? I'm going to dig up a question from 2 months ago now.
2 months ago, yeah. He says, hello, Mr. John. I have a question. Can different factions expand their villages? And this is probably one of my favorite answers that John has said. And the answer was yes.
Yeah, he just straight up answered it. If you've been following the podcast for a while, and you specifically last year, when John tweeted, you are familiar with us having to be like, yeah, John kind of answered it, but he didn't really answer it, because he just said, yeah, my favorite games are like Stardew Valley and like Animal Crossing for these type of farming things. And it's like, that's not an answer. You're just listing your favorite games. And so instead of doing that, Or another thing he did is like, what are some of your favorite mechanics in
Yeah, I'll put
games?
those in the game. A
Yeah,
little
and so
sneaky
he said
sneaky
instead
John.
of answering your question with a question, as much as I want to, short answers yes. So he
He said yes.
finally
So
it
yes.
took. I wonder when the first John
When are you gonna?
tweet came out, but it took a year for him to say the words yes.
So are you gonna edit a little short answer yes to like a beta question? Should do that. Make a little tweet, break the internet. But yeah, I
Maybe.
like this answer because that means there's every faction or every like Chork camp or Quebec village or Scarrick Nest is gonna be completely different, which we know about. But that means each of them are gonna have different levels of like challenge, I guess, to it. Which awesome for mini games. Just saying, awesome for everybody's story mode. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see like a triple deck Quebec village, or not Quebec village, Chork camp. That would be crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, there's so much theorizing that can be done in this, and we can
Mm-hmm.
definitely save this for a future episode because we still have a lot of news to go over. What does the expanding look like? Are there tiers? Is it procedurally generated, and is there a limit? Like, is it a
Yeah.
tier 1 village through a tier 5 village?
Yeah, give me that S rank Chork camp here.
Or do they just like continually, just build a new hut here, build a new hut here, and it doesn't necessarily mean much in terms of the village level? Or, does it expand from like the small thing to this thing and then it can't grow bigger? And if it can go bigger, sky's the limit.
So how's this gonna work then, Myne? So for example, you encounter day one a Chork camp, and you obviously, since you have nothing, you can't attack that Chork camp. To say for example, you come back in like a week, then there's like 3 new huts, like bunch more Chorks. Is that how that's gonna
Yeah.
work?
Hopefully,
And then
I think that'd be super dynamic.
yeah,
Another question is, do we see the improvements? Like, do they physically build it out, or
oh,
is it just
interesting.
like we leave and come back and oh, I guess there's a new house here?
That would be some pretty interesting idle animations, because we know mobs do have idle animations in Hytale. So would we see like a Chork hunter just start whacking some like wood or something with his little mallet to make it bigger? Would
Right,
that
because I
that'd be
think
really
the
cool?
issue with it, like being forced to be off screen, is like you could probably cheat that with like just setting like a camera there. Because like if you're just like living next to a Quebec village, does that mean they never expand? Because
Oh yeah, because there's
you're
always
always
eyes on it.
loading them
Yeah.
in, yeah, and there's always eyes on them. And so the real question is, do they just like bloop, here's a new house, which I don't think they would. I also don't think they would individually build it. I think it's more of like maybe they set a foundation.
Hmm.
There's like maybe an animation to fix it, and then it like ploops, or like there's an animation to rise it. I
I
think
wonder
that's
if
more likely.
I wonder if for like factions that you're friends with, you could help them gain materials to build that house as well
Mhm.
or expand. That would be really cool. I
Yeah,
would love to see that.
like a Quebec architect is like, hey, I can't reach this certain ingredient or this
Yeah.
certain tool. Can you get this for me so that I can build the fisherman's hut or something
Yeah,
like that?
and then that would also give you benefits, because then you can get, maybe free fish or cheaper
Yeah, and
fish.
then they'll
And
start fishing for you, or you get a
yeah,
discount
yeah.
because you helped them.
That would be really cool. Oh my god, the dynamic gameplay
I
in
would
that would be
love that.
awesome.
I would love that so
That
much.
that would help a lot of people's like the amount cinematic story modes. Like that would be really cool. I'd love
You
to
know what
see
would be
that.
so funny is we're theorizing about all these cool possibilities,
Yeah.
and if the game just came out and it's like the least interactive thing, it's just like ploop, new house. Oh, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you can't go in it either. Too bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think they do that. I wonder, but like it's gonna be every faction then, I guess, or maybe specific factions. So it'd be cool. Maybe see like the Troll camp, like they flatten land, I guess, so they can put a house on it, and then you come back like 10 minutes later. There's some like pillars put up, and then come back 10 minutes later after
Mhm.
that. There's like a roof on the thing now.
Yeah, and I guess I'll leave this off with one more question is,
Hmm.
this is all very dependent on the terrain generation in general. So are the camps and all of the villages like predefined to generate in a space built for expansion? Because I can definitely imagine, let's say a short camp in the forest, but it's like surrounded by this cool like mountain generation. How do they expand? Do they like awkwardly build on this hill
Like
that
villagers.
like, yeah, like
Yeah,
the
have you
villagers,
seen those villagers and those like kilometer
the
high pillars?
kilometer, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. That's
So
pretty funny.
is it going to be a situation like that, or are they going to become predefined with a certain type of terrain around them?
Yeah, I don't know. But what would happen, for example, if a chore camp were to spawn in just completely maxed out already? Like, do they expand off of that, or are they just stuck?
It depends on if there's like tiers and
Mm-hmm.
if the maxing out uh, has like a certain radius.
Okay. Interesting. We'll have to ask more questions about that. Maybe John can answer something in the comments here, because I like that. I like this question. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, you want to get on to the next one, Mine?
Before we move on to the next Ask Hytale question, we
Yeah.
can touch on this real quick. It was Buddha Cat's birthday on January 31st. So if you haven't got wished him a happy birthday, you can do so in the comments. I think he'll watch this episode, so he will see your comment if you do wish him a
Yes.
happy birthday. So do that, please, if you haven't
Yes.
already.
Happy belated, even though we said happy birthday to you.
The next one is another Ask Hytale question, and this
Yeah.
is a bit more technical, and so we'll try to work through this.
Mhm.
It is about a system called Flex. Now, context. Where is the original
I believe
tweet?
Sander tweeted it
Yes,
out.
Sander tweeted it out, saying, "We are excited to announce that Hypixel is using Flex as the backbone for the upcoming Hytale engine." Now, Flex is spelled Flecs and not like, the bicep flex.
Way to point that out.
I mean, it's
Oh no, I'm kidding.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is Flex? Because I commented, "Woohoo!" I didn't see that the Hytale team replied.
Yeah, they did, and I got a notification for that. I was like, "Oh my god,
dude! I did not get notified for this. What the
Oh yeah,
hell?
I was at work, as you could tell by my comment.
Wait, my Twitter bugged out. Hawkon replied to it saying, "Where's mine?" Yeah, where's my notification? Elon?
Mine, you gotta put the tweet on. What are you doing?
Elon, where is my notification?
I got one. I even commented on this on the podcast Twitter.
Not to the Hytale tweet.
No, just to the Sander one.
Okay, that's disappointing. Regardless, I commented, "Woohoo!" I have no clue what this means. So I mean,
for real, dude.
read that they're using Flex as the backbone. What does this mean? And so Hawkon did ask Hytale, asking why Flex, and they were able to answer it. Dan Webster, the technical director, said, "We knew that we wanted to build Hytale around an entity component system, ECS."
That's pretty.
So I don't know what the FL means, but FLECS. When we analyzed the options, Flex rose to the top. Flex provides the backbone of the Hytale game engine. Its flexibility has allowed us to build highly varied gameplay while supporting our vision for empowering creators.
Does FL mean flexibility? I don't know.
Ooh.
Like flexible entity component system? Is that what that means? Maybe. I don't know. I didn't read what it really meant, so that could probably be it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know or maybe they just like decided that that's a cool name, which I mean, it's a pretty good name. It's easy to say.
It flexes, flex on them haters. Yeah. Is this a new profile picture, by the way? Technical director Dan Webster. Have we seen this before?
I was literally just about to say I've not seen it before. Well, let's check in with the Hytale nerds. Is this
you mean
new profile picture, aka High Circle?
Yeah, High Circle.
They'll know it before us.
Let me guess. I bet someone just already replied.
This. So yeah, new profile picture. I think I don't recall seeing it.
So you could be bald, even though we already know that.
Yeah. So this is a new
Connor,
Hytale image.
Connor.
What the fuck? We're getting a new Hytale image and we didn't notice it.
Our bad.
No, but no one noticed. Not one person in the community I remember saying like, "Hey, is this a new Hytale image?" Unless it's on the website. Ooh, let me check the
What's on the website?
Hypixel website.
Hypixel Studios. We're cooking right now.
What was his name? Dan Webster.
Dan Webster.
Dan. I just gotta look for a bald guy.
Found it. Yeah, he's a bald guy, but he doesn't have the profile picture on his Hytale thing, on his Hypixel Studios. Tech director.
So it is a new Hytale image.
New Hytale image. Let's go.
Okay, you heard it here first. That's why we watched the Hytale podcast.
Skialitos is her and her Kriba cosplay on the website. That's funny.
So that's gonna be a tweet of mine. So yeah, let's talk about Flex. What does this mean? Do you? Okay, so there was something in the Hytale podcast Discord. Let me scroll up to it because there were two very good explanations of it. Yeah, one was from Hakon and one was from Miles. So
Okay.
ECS stands for Entity Component System. It
Yes.
differs from traditional methods of building games by writing code in a way the computer likes it, but is hard on the humans to read and write. At least it doesn't come as naturally for the common way of coding, which is object-oriented design. This code that computers like is absurdly performant and can yield crazy results. For Hytale, realistically, this probably means you can now double entity count without a dip in performance. And then Hakon replied to this saying, ECS means you can burn more Quebecs at once. So
Oh.
if the limit for your PC was that you can burn 30 Quebecs without seeing a frame lag, you're running it at 60 FPS, but
Mm.
once you do like 40 Quebecs, you're down to like 40 FPS, right?
Yep.
ECS means that you can burn 60 Quebecs at 60 FPS without seeing a dip, and then
Mm.
maybe with 80 Quebecs, you'll see like maybe 40 frames. That's how I understand it.
So it's like a
And so,
lot better version of Optifine or Sodium for Minecraft. Just it
yeah,
allows the
it
game. It's
basically
performance enhancements.
it,
It's like
it
a
sounds like
it's like a
incredible performance
it's like a
at
computer's PED, like a steroid.
the only cost of being difficult to learn how to code because it's
Mm.
not entity based or object based
Interesting.
coding. So this is very good news. So you can definitely see. I know Chris and I have both talked about wanting to do like 100 Quebecs versus 100 Trorks videos.
Oh yeah,
Now we don't have to do 100 Trorks versus 100 Quebecs.
we could do
We
a
can
thousand.
do 1,000
Let's go.
Quebecs versus 1,000
Thousand.
Trorks. So
There goes our computers. They'll blow up, but
I'm
it's fine.
just saying that is a video you'll see in the future.
You'll
I'm
love
also
that.
going to plan to do a video of if they have an explosive, how many explosives does it take to crash my computer?
I'm
You can
gonna
expect
build the
that to be
best
a
PC
video.
possible and do that. You're gonna just nuke your computer. Or
Yeah.
maybe it won't even be possible. Who knows?
Maybe you can just
How advanced it
explode
is.
TNT infinitely. We'll find
Yeah.
out. You'll see that
First,
video
well,
on
first
my
do it in
channel.
Minecraft and then compare it to Hytale. See how 1 million individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You.
so I got linked something
Uh-huh.
about what stuff uses Flex right now, and
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. There's not a lot of games using Flex. They all seem very indie and very like just projecty. But the thing that sticks out is the Forge. And so if you remember from our previous episodes, we talked about the Forge being, in collaboration with Hytale now.
Mm-hmm.
And they have worked on games such as Forza Motorsport, Starfield, and No Man's Sky. And so that means these three games are also using the Flex engine. And I think so. I don't know much about these games because I haven't played them, but No Man's Sky and Starfield both are infinitely procedurally generated space games. That's a mouthful.
Wow.
It basically means that you can render an infinite amount of things
I say that's a
and it'll
lot of
still be
entities.
okay.
That's a
I'm
lot of
not
entities.
aware of the performance of both of these games. I played No Man's Sky for a few hours, and the performance was great on my end. Don't know
Mm-hmm.
how Starfield keeps up, but I'm just gonna take the assumption that both of them are able to render things well.
Okay. No, that's fair.
And so, Flex, very happy that we get to see that here.
Yeah. Does this mean there's gonna be a lot of entities in one sort of render distance render in Hytale then?
That would be
Or
sick.
because there was the screenshot, right? Or the leak of how like the world generates, correct? Like the cubic chunks or whatever.
Yeah.
So how many entities spawn then in one of those chunks or squares? Like it's gonna be a lot then, I would say.
Yeah, it just depends on the size. Like, I don't know enough. We don't know enough about the game to answer that, but
Yeah.
because we also don't want the world to be over flooded, but it also means that, I mean, the best thing, in my opinion, is this doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna have more entities. It means that we can have more entities, and so your one by one cow or chicken farms are gonna be a lot more efficient because now
Ooh,
you can actually,
yeah,
right?
you're right. You're
Um,
right.
but I think in a general sense, it just enables performance to a greater range of devices. So it doesn't mean that they're now going to pack 5 fence stalkers in a swamp instead of 3. They can still have 3, but it means that 3 is going to be a lot easier to handle on lower end devices the way it is on high end devices. That's the way I kind of see it.
So does this mean, you know, on servers, how people create lag machines in Minecraft, which just completely lag out a server?
Yeah, because
I'm not gonna fully eliminate the possibility of that happening, but I'm gonna say it's
there's
probably
going
gonna
to
be
be
hard to
lag
do.
machines possible in Hytale.
Yeah.
But I think the way you trigger them are either going to be different, or you're going to need a lot more entities. Because in
Yeah.
Minecraft, it is really easy to overflow the game with entities and
It is
your
very,
game
very
crashes.
easy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is ECS is going to be huge just for multiplayer servers. Like, I don't think the main purpose of it is really for the adventure mode or story mode. I think the main thing for this is going to be multiplayer servers where there's a crap ton of entities literally everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And one thing about servers, especially in Minecraft, I remember I had a shit PC back in the day. Like, it could barely run Minecraft at 30 FPS.
I ran at 24 or like
and I was still
FPS.
goated. And I was
Dude,
still goated. But
the way I grinded those Mineplex lobbies, I was to be feared.
You would not understand the amount of optimization I had. My Minecraft was so ugly because I had to turn down every particle effect.
I had probably watched every how to improve
Yep,
FPS video on Minecraft. I had a
oh my God.
FPS texture pack. Did you have that?
Yeah, like 8x8.
Yeah, I had an 8x8.
Maximum 16x16.
I think I had a 16x16 one that I always rocked.
Yeah.
You know,
now I run like
256. Is the lowest. All particles, all increased rendering the lowest. And it was still like 20 FPS. And we were still able to enjoy the game.
And then the second you join like a high pixel lobby where every 30 seconds somebody's launching a chicken or they have like swarm effects, like you're done. Game's finished.
There were certain servers that I told my friends like, hey, I just we can't play these.
Like, please stop.
Because I just can't. Like, there were certain high pixel mini games because they used a lot of 3D modeling. I just could not play. But even just in general, some mini games were just too laggy because of the amount of things that happened.
Yeah.
The funniest thing for me was if anyone here has ever played Winecraft,
I have.
The very first forest, Nivla Forest. I could not go near it, or my computer would start going down to like 6 FPS. I had to avoid Nivla Forest, like the curse. I could go to most areas, but that forest, because it was so many leaves and so many spiders and entities, it killed my PC. So
yep. Do you remember the mini game? It was like zombies on Hypixel. It's like basically COD Zombies, but you get like hose instead of guns or whatever. Oh my God, dude! At the end of each round, there's like a big wave, right? And my computer would like crash every time I played that game.
I feel that.
I got like 1 FPS. Now easily I can run it because built a computer or whatever. But yeah, ECS is going to be huge for servers, and I cannot wait to see how good it is.
For the amount of and also mobile devices.
Oh yeah, right. They're not as powerful as computers, right? And I guess I doubt Hytale will be on like PS4 and Xbox One or whatever, like the old gen. But if it somehow is, that would be huge for those games as well.
It'll probably, I don't know. It'll probably launch on PS5. I don't think
it'll be old gen.
How old is the PS5 now already?
Yeah, it's getting old. Like, I don't have a PS5. I still run PS4, but
it came out 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
PS5 or PS4 came out in like 2012. So, if it, I don't know, if it was somehow there, that would be insane. And if it ran well, like, kudos to them, but I don't think so. But yeah, is that all we have to talk about today?
We have one more tweet from Hugo, where we found out that, hold on, let me double
check something. What did Hugo tweet?
Lua is confirmed to be a language used by Hytale. And so, for context, everyone that knows coding and coding languages has probably heard of Lua. For those who haven't, Hugo described it as Hytale modding will most likely be done through Lua, a light, easy-to-use scripting language that can be binded to Flex. This is also supported by the fact that Lua is the only language mentioned in Hypixel Studios job offers.
Lua, interesting. I've never read those job offers, so I just never really knew
either.
that.
And so, Lua, as far as I know, is the easiest coding language that you can learn. Period.
Hell yeah.
It's used in Roblox, so Roblox devs use Lua, which is going to be interesting to see because it means so many Roblox devs will come over to Hytale.
Ooh, I never
I'm
thought
just
of it
saying
that way.
that's a huge thing that's going to happen. If the language is the same, they're going to be able to transfer so many things.
Right. That's huge because you know how much modding and Roblox is just built off of that anyway. So, good luck. That's a lot of player base. I was thinking like you get more of the Minecraft devs, but like that's Java, right? So
Java.
you get Roblox devs. Like that's crazy. That's crazy.
And there's a lot of Roblox devs.
Oh yeah, there's a
Lethal
lot.
Company, the creator of that was a Roblox dev.
Oh, was he? Interesting.
Yeah, he made a Roblox game and decided, you know what, I don't want a 90 to 10% or 10 to 90 pay ratio or whatever it is. Let me just make my own game, and you know, he's like a multimillionaire now.
Yeah, good for him.
Just something to think about. So I know this episode was very technical. That's why we put the technical stuff towards the end. But we got Hytale news, and I think this is just the beginning.
Get ready, boys and girls.
There's going to be a lot more Ask Hytale. I mean, if you go on Twitter and look up #AskHytale, you are probably aware of how much there really is. So we have an interesting year coming up.
We do, and obviously, I doubt they'll be putting out one Ask Hytale question a day, but if they do, that'd be insane. Just so they can catch up to all the questions. But yeah, I think that's all we got. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Ask Hytale, the ECS Flex Lua thing. It's crazy. Mob factions expanding. That's huge as well. Probably my favorite part of the past week. But yeah, that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the Hytale podcast. I'll see you guys next time.
Peace out.
Goodbye.